the normal. All right, can you guys hear me now? Hopefully, you guys can hear me now. All right, cool. Well, we're gonna scrap the idea of using these microphones because they didn't work. Which is funny because they worked earlier. It might be something with with the YouTube platform, since it worked with Facebook a little while ago, but it's not working with YouTube. But hey, guys, what's going on? Hold on, let me. Hello from Indiana. Yep, there you go. Carter's in the house. How you doing? So guys, hey, look, it's Saturday evening. We're hanging out here on Barbecue Boulevard. We did our cook today. It was a fun cook. You want to come on in here? Come on in here, Fed. All right. So we did our cook earlier on the LonestarGrillz Facebook page, and we did. Man, what you tell them what we did, man?
We did some mussels with a Guinness Stout cream sauce.
That's right. That's
had
right.
some bacon and some sausage in there. Ooh, we had a little toast to go with it.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Some good stuff.
So yeah, we had a great cook. We got to eat the mussels and some, have some Guinness and all of that. And now, man, we're hanging out here. We're watching the Final Four. And Jean is getting all set up so she can moderate and field the questions.
CJ,
my man, CJ's in the house.
CJ,
what's up, CJ? Stay safe. CJ and Miss CJ, they're over in Vegas right now.
In Vegas, oh
yeah,
okay.
Man. Did you wait? Let me check my phone.
No, I didn't. Did you? Yeah.
Hold on, let me look right quick.
I ain't got.
I didn't get it. Did you get a text from CJ?
I told him y'all couldn't go.
Oh, really?
Wow. You ain't the boss of me.
You
Y'all had to work today.
You see how this goes, right? we could have streamed from Vegas, right?
They got internet over there.
We could have made a burger or something in Vegas.
Yoder to Vegas.
Hey, but anyway, guys, so, hey, we did our live stream for LonestarGrillz today. We did the mussels, and we're hanging out here, and man, we're about to do some brisket trimming. And I said, you know what? We might as well bring the dog panel along, right? Right? So we're gonna get a brisket trimmed up. So I'll tell you what I'm gonna do is I am going to give Federico the myth,
the legend,
give you that, and
right.
you can run the camera and do what you do.
Let's go ahead and switch that up.
You gotta turn it around, right?
Yeah, I got to turn it around.
Oh, okay.
No, we're just gonna meet for the next 30 minutes.
We're gonna look at your afro.
He's rough and stuff with his afro.
Yeah, right. Gene over there dropping jokes.
Yeah, right.
Are you all set up for?
Yeah.
All right. So guys, if you have questions, make sure you send them to Gene, and Gene will take care of those questions for you. And we're gonna get this brisket trimmed up. We're gonna get it trimmed, Federico.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So Uncle Steve watching what you watching. He said he watching UH get whooped.
Hey, they are, man. I mean, it's no surprise. Baylor's actually been pretty decent over the last few years. They've been trying. Anyway. So, we got our Dow Strong Fire and Ice. So nice. We got our little... that's actually a fillet knife, but I'm going to use it as a boning type knife. And, pay homage to my buddy Ryan over at Backline Smokers. Ooh-wee. We're going to use one of his knives today, too. Show him some love.
That's a big boy you got there.
That brisket?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's going to get chopped down. Oh. Trust me. It's going to get... hey, guys, I'm not in for trimming or cooking a big, gigantic brisket. Ain't going to happen. So we really are going to chop this brisket down. Let's see how big this one is. This one, 15 3/4 pounds. It's a big boy.
Yes, sir.
It's a choice grade brisket we got from our local HEB. You know HEB, dog. They got some good products. So we got us a nice little choice brisket we got there. Gene, you got any questions just yet?
I do have a question. What's a good temperature for chicken legs?
Good temperature for cooking, completion. What are we talking?
Yeah.
Yep.
That's it.
So pretty much chicken cooking at a higher temperature. You know, 300 degrees works out well. 275, 300 works out well. Finish it off at maybe 350 to get it crispy. You're looking for an internal temperature of about 175 degrees for a dark meat. So anyway, guys, we're gonna get started on this, fam. If you can get this, we're gonna get this cut open here. We got the decal right here in our package, so I usually do the cut right on the decal. Why? So I'm not destroying any meat. So we get this cut open here. Any other questions there, Gene, as we're doing this?
Does it have to be a prime? Does the brisket have to be a prime?
A prime for that's your preference. And this brisket is still kind of cold. It's actually still kind of frozen in places. All right.
What's the ideal size for a brisket?
I like to keep my briskets 14 pounds and under. Again, that's just a preference thing.
Bobby wants to know, where did you get that sweet apron?
Hey, where did we get this apron from?
Amazon.
Amazon. I think it was Amazon.
That is a good looking bracelet. Apron there, sir.
What's on your mind there, brother?
Right?
Man? All right, we got our brisket out of the package. That was a task in itself. This big dude right here.
Yeah, didn't have vaccine. Your arms are.
I know, man. Let me not. I don't want to drop Gene's frostfire knife on the ground over there.
Y'all see he's got Mama's knife, right?
That's right.
Oh.
Yeah, this is Mama's Dawgftha right here. But
JS Jizza wants to know, what knife is that?
who?
JS Jizza?
JS. This is a Dawgftha. This is a Dawgftha. This is a fillet knife. I believe this is the 6-inch fillet knife for them.
And what's it called? The
And
frost?
this is the Frostfire. If you look at the side of the knife there, you can see where it... Actually, I think it's on this side. You can see where it actually says
there it
Frostfire.
Get that.
So,
there we go.
Like a mermaid knife.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's the Frostfire from Dawgftha. That's what that is. All right, so we got this thing out of the package, guys. And this is still kind of frozen here, which is cool because whenever you have a brisket that's really cold, it is a lot easier to trim. So first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take my longer knife here and I'm going to give myself a good edge. See the ice popping off here, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to give myself a good edge here. So we're going to just come right down here. Run my fingers in there.
Siren's in here.
Thyron's in the house. Yeah, this brisket is still a little on the frozen side, man.
Yeah, you look like you working.
I am having to work for this one. Is this all good?
Because we know that's a sharp knife.
Yeah. But it's all good. All right. Now, what we're going to do is just kind of get our fat and put it over here to the side, guys. Now, again, understand that whenever I trim these briskets, I get really aggressive on my trims. I'm not telling you you have to get aggressive on your trims at all. I do get pretty aggressive with my trimming because I know I'm going to use these trimmings for something else, so it's not going to go to waste. Whether I decide to grind it and make burgers out of it, sausage out of it, we might make carne asada, I'll melt down the fat and make some beef tallow. We will absolutely use this stuff, which is why I have it sitting over here on some aluminum foil. So understand that that's what's going to happen there, okay? Now, as we cut in here, you kind of get to see just how much meat you have and how much fat you have and, you know, where you're going to do your trimming. So that's one of the good reasons as to why I get that nice, good, clean edge. We know we're going to come in here and get this decal off of here. So I kind of run my knife here to get down there to that decal. And again, this is really frozen on me here. And it's all good though. All right, so got all this silver skin and stuff here, right? Now this backyard Q, you can leave it if you want to, but we're going to take it off. So we're just going to come here. And I don't care if I take a little bit of the meat, to be honest with you. But we're just going to kind of run that knife all the way along here as best we can. Get a good clean edge off this, off that meat. Trying not to gouge it too much. Good tip is to kind of lift your meat up with your fingers to get that silver skin up to you. Now here on the edges, I'm not going to be worried about it too much because I know I'm going to be trimming this. But we're going to come here and get some of this off here as well. Just like that. All right. All right, now I'm going to kind of flip this guy over right quick. You can see just how much fat, and I showed you guys here a minute ago on this side just how much fat is on here. Now I'm looking at it so I can get to see the angle that you guys just saw. And now I'm going to just kind of take some of this off of here. You can kind of see that where I just pulled that off of there, and it's got a lot of fat there still. So still a lot of protection to it.
Yes, it's Mario wants to know, do you ever wear cut-resistant gloves?
You know, it's funny because I do have one, and I don't think I've used it yet, to be honest with you. I'm just taking some of this off the point. The point has plenty of fat on it, so I'm not really worried about it too much at all. But I'm just kind of following this along and trying to keep it as rounded as I possibly can. And if I cut through to the meat here, I really don't care. There's a lot of fat in this meat, so it's not that big a deal. Not the end of the world. Any more questions?
Everybody's saying their hellos. Dutch is in here. Cooking Pop and Babe, Josh is in here.
Yeah.
is saying his highs. Grumpus is in here.
Nice, nice. All the usual suspects are in the house.
Madwood.
As I sit here and trim off this fat from this brisket. So we're just kind of, like I said, cleaning it up, taking more off of here. And I really, like I said, don't care if I get a little bit of meat here on the side because it's the point and it's got plenty of fat in there. Now this right here can be a problem.
Wow, yeah.
Look at that. Look at that doozy I got dealt with from this one. So all of this is going to come off of here, guys, because that's just going to burn up. And it kind of sucks that we have to do it, but we got to do it, which means we're going to have to pull some of this off. But you know what? That's the things that happen, man. In barbecue, you have to just kind of roll with it.
But nothing goes to waste.
Nothing goes to waste.
So everything you're trimming off is going to go to tallow or to
Carne asada or whatever, yeah. We will absolutely use it.
Josh is asking, is this going to be an overnight cook?
That is the plan, to have some brisket ready to go for tomorrow morning. All right, so you kind of see there, we got a nice little raggedy edge here, and we're going to do the same thing we did on the other side. We're going to give us a good little cut here and kind of even it out some.
So AZ Colby says that he's learning how from Arizona.
Nice.
And Abe Lincoln says, how long do you plan on smoking this? He's got the same size in his fridge right now. He's smoking it tomorrow.
Yeah. What temp is Abe Lincoln going to be cooking at? Because that's really going to determine just how long it's going to take. I will typically run my briskets, because I'm doing an overnight cook and I'm doing this on my Kamado, I'm actually probably going to start this thing off. I'll probably start it off somewhere around 235, 240. And we'll probably put it in, I'm thinking somewhere around 9:30, 10 o'clock tonight. I'll run it at that 235 or so, probably until about 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the morning. At that point, I'll kick the temperature up on the grill. We'll probably go to 275, 285. At that point, we'll wrap the brisket, pop it back on there, and finish it off probably in a couple of hours. So it tends to work out pretty well for me.
So Abe says he thinks he's going to be doing 225 on the Traeger.
There you go. So I'm just pulling a little bit more of this fat off of here. And I know that it's getting thinner here, so I'm just kind of pulling up, angling the knife a little bit more upwards so that it doesn't cut through on the flat. That's all I'm kind of doing right there. Now I'm just going to switch knives right quick because I want to shape this out a little bit. Now, I don't want to have right angles. I don't want any angles on my meat. You know, when you have these corners like this, that's the stuff that likes to crisp up on you. So what I like to do is kind of just round them off. And so what I'll do is just kind of take my knife and just kind of come here and just make a little, just basically marking it as to what I want to do here. And we'll take this right off.
Crypto Dread is enjoying your shirt.
Nice. Kane's in the house.
So Rise in GBG wants to know, what's your favorite way to cook a brisket? Hot and fast or low and slow? And does it ever depend on the brisket grade?
I am not really a hot and fast guy, but I'm also not one of those that's super low. You know, like I said, for me, oh, got a little shiner there. Oh, we might as well throw this brisket away, right? Hell no. I'm still cooking it. I'm not really a hot and fast kind of guy, but I'm not a you know, super low. I'm not really into that super low stuff, so I'm kind of in the middle. You know, kind of the upper end of smoking a brisket is, you know, that 275, 280 range. A lot of times when I'm cooking, if I'm cooking, not an overnight cook, but I'm actually up doing whatever, I'll typically cook 275. That tends to be a good sweet spot for me for smoking a brisket, especially I try to keep my briskets around 14 pounds or so that I buy, trimming them down to roughly 11 and a half pounds. They hit the pit at that weight, and they'll probably come off somewhere in the neighborhood of 7.5, 8 pounds, maybe a little over 8 pounds is what they come down to. Because, you know, brisket has a lot of moisture in it, and it pushes out a lot of moisture, so it loses a little bit of weight when it's on the grill. And so that's what works out for me. Now, I know plenty of people love to do the 225 thing and cook a brisket for like ever. That's just not me. I like to get it done. You know, I'm not a hot and fast kind of guy. I have done hot and fast. You remember we did the hashtag brisket challenge. We hooked up with our brother Ryan, and we worked on the backline shot pit.
Mm-hmm.
And we ran that pit that day. Man, we were hitting temperatures of 350 and just knocking that brisket out. So I have done it before, but it's just not really my thing.
So Chart 374 wants to know, how come you're not using your Victronics boning knife?
Because I'm using Dawgftha.
Because it's prettier, right? Daddy Dutch wants to know, Baylor versus UCLA, who you got?
Oh, UCLA's in it too? Baylor. Wait, who's UCLA? Who's UCLA playing tonight?
Baylor versus UCLA Zags.
Oh, Gonzaga. That's right. Yeah, UCLA ain't getting past Gonzaga, unless Gonzaga has a really bad game. Because I mean, they still have to play, you know. But I'm not expecting UCLA to beat Gonzaga, but it could happen. You never know.
That trim's coming up real nice, bro.
Man, we working on it.
Blue says that that's a different knife for sure. Really, so different. Take a moment and give them a close up of that knife so you can see the beauty of it.
Yeah. You proud of this knife, aren't you?
It is. It's a beauty.
Yeah.
And somebody said hi to you. Dustin said, "Hey, Federico." Everybody's renamed you Fred.
Dustin who? Hey, Dustin.
Wait, is Laura in it? Cypress Blue, is she in here?
Yeah.
So
she's the one who's talking about the knife.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, it was Laura that was asking, "Where's your twin last week?"
Yeah, it was.
Hey, Laura.
Laura, it's a gorgeous knife. I've got 4 in the set.
All right, so
All right, what we got?
there you go. And I'll clean it up here for just a minute. It's gonna get dirty again, but
Yeah. Hey, hit me with the other side, the fire and ice.
Get that cleaned up
I
just a
keep
little
saying
bit.
fire and ice.
It's frost fire.
Thank you.
Frostfire.
Let me get it right. There we go.
Daddy
Frostfire.
Jeff says Rico the Stud is on Barbecue Boulevard.
What's up, Daddy Dutch?
West Coast Cajun cuisine. Yeah, that is a nice.
Is he in? Is Blevin in here?
Oh,
West Coast Cajun cuisine.
Yeah,
Blevin. Hey,
he's made a couple comments.
wait, hold up, dog. Blevin, my brother. Okay, so you hit me up a little while ago, and you said, you know, hey, and I meant to hit you back before I went live here. Dude, we pulled up your video and put it on the TV here and watched it. All three of us sat here and watched that video, man, and that was pretty damn cool, man. I really appreciate you for doing that, man. That was, you know, completely awesome, dude. You did a great job. And guys, any of y'all that are out here watching this video, and if you don't know about my man Blevin and West Coast Cajun, you know, click buffering again.
No, you're live.
Blevin, thank you, brother, for doing what you did with that video, man. I really do appreciate that, bro.
Great video. Great
Yeah,
video.
man,
Product looked awesome.
We enjoyed it. We really did it. So I'm just kind of taking just a little bit off of here because, you know.
So this is that fine trim right now.
Yeah,
You did the coursework.
I'm just cleaning up some stuff here and there.
All right.
That's all it is. Nothing major.
Man, the before and after. What
I mean,
this looked like a minute ago does not resemble what it does right now.
It looks a little different. Just a little different. Now, one of the things that I tend to do is I want to kind of have this brisket to be flat, you know? It's one of the things we were talking about before, where we kind of want it to be, and if it's not just flat, we kind of want it to be kind of a uniform, you know, kind of size, and not have like a really thin flat and then a really puffy, you know, point. So we kind of pay attention to those types of things, and if we need to literally get in here and cut some of this off, we will. This one isn't too bad. I don't think it looks too bad. Back.
Yep.
All right. All right, so, guys, I've said this before, and I'm going to say this again. I'm looking for a cameraman. So, if any of you guys
Let's get close in on that.
if any of y'all have some experience with a camera, you know, hit me up, because my man here about to get fired again.
Bro, you better equipment. What's this, a Samsung? What the hell?
All right, so guys, you know, this is looking pretty decent. Fed, what do you think? How we looking here?
Man, it looks good. It looks real good.
Think we're looking okay?
Yes, sir.
Again, this is still a bit frozen, so it's still feeling pretty solid. It's been in the refrigerator for a couple of days here. At this point, man, it's just one of those where, you know, you come around here, you see like they come to a point here, and you just kind of playing around.
You want to round that out?
You know, I mean, you don't have to, but you know, it's one of those things, man. You end up playing around with a brisket, and you could be playing around with a brisket for hours, dude, doing this.
Well, like you said, you actually like it a little cold because it looks easier to slice up, right?
A lot easier to make your cuts when it's a little on the frozen side. So, but I'm quit playing around with this, man.
You know, whittle it down to a hamburger here in a minute.
And you know, I'll do it, man.
Look.
You know me. I will absolutely do it. As I said, I was gonna stop, and here I am again.
Yeah, look at you. You can't stop, bro.
You know, but that's the thing that we call barbecue, man. You get addicted to, you know, just kind of playing around with things here. And, you know, you were taught when you were a kid, don't play with your meat, right?
Now, you keep rubbing your hand over it. Now, what you looking for? Yep.
Run the hand along here. You kind of smooth it out a little. It gives you a better view of what you have to work with here. Where you might need to trim more if you need to or not. Okay, I can see here.
Poor Federico gets more fire than that brisket.
I appreciate you, Dustin.
Lone Wolf says, "Walk away, stop cutting."
Yeah, right. Telling y'all we're gonna have a roast in a minute.
See, I got just a little bit of silver skin on here.
Oh man, it was there a minute ago.
I know, but I finally decided it bugged me enough. So, put a little bit of that out. Of course, I gouged it down a little bit, but
Yeah, right.
it's all good. clean it
So
up
as
just a
you're
little bit.
shaping this, what are you looking for?
Shape.
So you want rounded?
Yeah, I'm just getting a good shape on it. That's all. It's nothing scientific to it. It's just what kind of visually appeals to you. That's really it, man.
Nice, nice.
So
West Coast says throw that thing on the pit already.
yeah, it's got a few hours to go before we get it on the pit.
See, Hurt wants to know what the long knife is.
Oh,
So basically, it's just a brisket cutting knife. It's a serrated knife, or I think this is technically a scalloped edge. I think.
It's got the dimples in it, so it doesn't keep that suction.
Yeah. So that's what I'm using there. Like I said, we've got the fillet knife for Dawgftha, and this is for the Frostfire series, and that's what I use to do the trimming with. Now I'm gonna put this side by side, and you can kind of see just how much we pulled off of this brisket. So all of that was on there.
So 275. How long do you think they'll for guesstimate?
If I'm at 275, running a solid 275, this brisket probably would take about 10, 11 hours. And that is being wrapped. So, yeah, I could probably get it done in about 10. I mean, I could push it and get it done faster. You know, one of the things is if you wrap your briskets, you can actually, pump up your temperature a little bit. So if you've been smoking at, say, 275, we're hitting the 6-7 hour mark. Your temperature on the brisket is probably 175, maybe 180 degrees. Wrap it up in butcher paper. If foil is your thing, go for it. But you wrap it up in butcher paper or whatever, pop it back on the grill. You've been running at 275, kick it up to 300. If you don't want to tend to fire anymore, it's cool. You've already got all the smoke flavor in it. Wrap it up, put in your oven at 300 degrees. Doesn't matter. At this point, you just need heat to finish off the cook. So once you get it wrapped, you can push this brisket through and get it done relatively quick. So typically, once it's wrapped, I'm thinking you'll probably be done in about 2 hours, maybe a little over 2 hours. But that's again, you're probably in that 175 degree range. Internal temperature is what we're talking about here. 175 degrees Fahrenheit internal temperature. Wrap that bad boy up, put it back on the pit, kick the temp up, finish it off. Now, how do you know when it's finished? How do you know when a brisket is finished? Anybody? Anybody? Anybody?
Miss Jean singing.
Miss Jean is singing. So what do I look for it to be done, guys? What I'm looking for is how tender it is, as far as when I take my meat probe and I slide into the point and as well as into the flat. I don't care what the temperature is. I'm not looking at the temperature. Don't ask what the internal temperature is, because we really don't know. We're just going by the feel. If it feels right, and it feels like butter, I know it's tender. I know it's done. I know we're good to go. Brisket's done. So it's that simple. So not a bad trimming job, though. Federico, I think you did pretty good.
Nice.
So Dustin wants to know if you've ever used mustard base to hold your rub. And while we know you have used mustard base, what are some other things besides the mustard base you've used to hold rub?
Okay, so yeah, I absolutely have used mustard. Mustard mixed with pickle juice. Yeah, I have done that. Now, other things that I've used, straight water. I've used Worcestershire sauce, W sauce, people will call it sometimes. We've used gochujang, but we did that more so with pork. When we did pulled pork, we used gochujang sauce. And that's really pretty much the things that I'll use. It really depends on the brisket. If the brisket is still, you can kind of see here on this one down here, Fed. You can kind of see it. It still looks moist. So when you see that moist, that means it's still got a little tackiness to it. So at this point, when I'm seeing that, I know that I'm okay to put a rub on here, and I don't think I'll have an issue with it sticking. Now, with that said, I could still put something on here as a slather or whatever to help hold that rub. Anyway, it's all a preference thing. So there is no right or wrong to it, and I'm seeing this corner that's bugging me. You know, this is why you.
Step away from
That's
the
what.
knife.
Yeah, right? That's what I said. Step away from the brisket.
Oh man.
Put the knife down. Step away from the brisket. But I'm seeing this, and it doesn't look just as
I knew
rounded
exactly
here.
where you were going to.
You saw that, right?
Yeah, I knew exactly where you were going.
So I want to kind of take a little bit more off of here.
Lone Wolf says those leftovers look like good to use fat. Good to use for fat. Good to use for fat.
Tallow. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Tallow, grind for burgers.
And this is the thing, you know, if you watch my brother Joe, Smoking Joe's Pit Barbecue, he talks about how when he's trimming a brisket, he can be doing it for hours. You know, and that's one of the things. If you sit down with a brisket, you know, trimming long enough, you'll see that you can just start playing around with it and just taking stuff off. And you know what? But it's a good way to kind of learn what you like in your briskets and how you want them to be. Because honestly, this right here is the beginning of making a good brisket. Is getting it trimmed. You know, getting it trimmed well. You know, so is this a perfect you know, trimming job? No way. You know, but it's decent. We're doing backyard barbecue. You know, it's not a competition. So we're doing okay.
Ed Stokes says it's looking good. LGH says you're king of smoking. Moho Vincho says, yo, you helped me make my best brisket last weekend. Giving it another go tomorrow.
Nice, nice.
D Webb, Dawgfatha's barbecue. Long time no see, my friend. Still watching, but can only get your recordings. Be safe, fam.
Man, glad to have you in here, brother. So there we go. Saturday evening brisket trimming.
Nice.
What you think, Fed?
I think it's good, brother. I think it's
that
good.
this might be a trim job that might rival the trim job you did
Let's not get carried away, bro.
at Ryan's that day, man. I think your brisket. I don't know, man. I might have got you on this one. Bro.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
I think I might have got the cameraman with this one.
I don't know, man, because I had the great John Barton helping me out too.
JB, absolutely. So, but yeah, there we go. Brisket trim. It's in the books.
It's in the books, brother.
It's in the books. We're gonna let it hang out and let it finish. Since it's cool out here today, we're gonna let it hang out and let it, you know, kind of get tacked up.
Just
And-
in the background thinks they're cardinals.
Yeah, you know, we bought this app. We got this app called YouTube. And it's like every time we turn the app on, the birds just I don't know, man. It's like he's filming. Here we go. You know, I don't know what it is. It's funny because sometimes they'll sit back here on the fence, or they'll sit on the fence there. Sometimes they'll sit on the roof, you know, next door, and they just make all the noise. I think Gina and I were doing a stream last week, and they sat up there just making all the noise they possibly could. So I don't know, man. Probably should go get the pellet gun.
No. Big old blackbird.
We got enough grills back here. We can put them on now. We can put them on. So
Leonard Gilbert says, how far back do you trim the point for shrinkage?
man, I don't really worry about the shrinkage, to be honest with you. I just basically am trying to get a good shape on it. I don't necessarily feel like I have to take a lot off unless I have some sort of uniformity issue with the brisket. All I'm doing is trying to take a little off the ends there just to round it off and make it a good shape for what I want to do. And that's all I really worry about. You know, the rest of it is what it is. Sometimes you buy briskets and then there ain't nothing you can do with it. You know, it is what it is. You can't add more to it, obviously. And so that's just what you know, that's the hand you were dealt. So that's kind of how I roll with it. I don't really worry about that. I just get the shape on it that I'm looking for, and that's really pretty much all I can do. You know, a lot of people don't even trim briskets. You know, they'll pull them out of the package, put their rub on them, throw it on the pit, and still make a great brisket. There's nothing wrong with you not trimming it at all. I just kind of like to do a trimming on it because I want it to cook evenly. I want to not have so much waste at the end because, again, we applied this rub to this meat. We applied it, you know, the heat and smoke to it for, you know, 8 to 12 hours or whatever. Last thing that I want to do is pull this thing off, let it rest, and then go slice and have mounds and mounds of fat that I'm scraping and throwing off, and there goes the rub. I want to get this rub as close to the meat as possible on the fat side. And I don't want to have to throw it away. I want to be able to try to make as much of this brisket edible straight off the pit. So that's why I do it the way that I do it, guys. I'm not telling you this is the way you have to do brisket. You can do brisket any kind of way you want to. This is just how I do it. So I'm just sharing with you guys how I do my brisket. And it works out well for me. And so that's why I do what I do.
So our Loera, dinner time to smoke a brisket in my Weber kettle got me motivated, homie. Los Angeles, California, into Hizzy.
Hell
Real
yeah.
Dawgfatha barbecue.
Hey, California in the house.
California.
About them Lakers, though. Man, hopefully the Lakers will get their act together. I don't know, man. Injury bugs right now, you know. So, no, I had a great time out in LA. You know, it's been some years since I've been out there, but LA is a blast. Always something to do. Yeah, I'm going to just leave it at that.
Shane says, what kind of rub are you going to use?
Come on. Okay. What kind of rub am I going to use? Let's see. Federico. What rub are we going to put on this brisket tonight?
Man, I'm saying you're gonna put some salt, pepper, salt and pepper.
Okay.
He doesn't sound very confident.
He don't sound very confident.
Well, because I was gonna say SPG, but you know.
Mm-hmm.
So, Gene, what do you think? What should we put on this brisket?
Some 16 mesh.
Some 16 mesh.
Oh, she
and
got
some kosher?
look, she got specific.
She knows.
Yeah.
She knows. Tell you what, let's ask the chat. What should we put on this brisket?
Oh, you know what you haven't done in a while. Well, I don't know. Have you done?
What's that?
Man, there was some Fiesta.
The brisket rub? Or
the brisket rub.
the Fiesta brand brisket rub.
That was some good
combined
stuff.
with the 16 mesh black pepper.
Yes,
it's good stuff.
We ate that cold. Stuff. I was eating that brisket cold. Didn't even need to warm it up.
Oh yeah, very good stuff. I'm typically a salt and pepper guy.
Yeah.
You know, kosher salt, 16 mesh ground black pepper. That's what I typically like to put on my briskets along with post oak. For the wood, and it gives a phenomenal flavor. It just works out really well. Last weekend we did salt and pepper ribs. I didn't make a video on it. Didn't go live. We just posted some pictures of it or whatever, and it was the cleanest, just post oak flavored ribs, man, I've had in a really long time. Because sometimes, guys, face it, get away from doing all the different rubs and go back to the basics of salt and pepper. And I'm telling you, when you do that, sometimes it's just so freaking good. But you know what? Hey, the pursuit of perfect barbecue, we're always playing around with different rubs, and it just is what it is. But salt and pepper just tends to be my favorite. So that's what I like to do.
Leonard Gilbert wants to know, do you use a tallow mop?
Leonard Gilbert wants to know if I use a tallow mop. Mm-hmm. No. I'm assuming that's coming from there's been some videos out approaching the subject of adding tallow to your have you seen that?
No, I haven't seen it.
So there's some stuff going around about how you smoke your brisket, you put tallow in it, when you wrap it. Take some beef tallow, put some tallow on beef, wrap it, cook it, pull it off, unwrap it, put some tallow back on it, wrap it again, let it rest. Work, bro. I'm like this. That's like me saying, and I'm not trying to be funny, but the best way I can put it is that's like me saying, well, you know what, we're gonna go to the swimming pool and we're gonna take some water to put in the pool. There's already water in there. There's already tallow in here. Beef tallow, fat is rendered from the brisket. You got plenty of beef tallow. Why would you need to add more beef tallow? I think where I could see where it might be a good application is if you're cooking a select grade or a brisket that really doesn't have a lot of fat in it, and you need to add some fat. Maybe that's the best way to go with if you go that route. But you know what? Around here, we typically are always cooking choice or primes, more so primes than anything. But I like a good choice brisket. You can see choice brisket has a lot of fat in it, and so I don't really have an issue not creating a good moist brisket with a choice grade cut. So, something like this, I don't think I need to add any tallow or anything, man. So that's just what we do. So, and if you want a good tip for if you're making your tallow, if you have a big enough cooker, take this fat that you have trimmed off here, Maybe trim the meat off and try to get it as clean fat as you possibly can. Pop it in an aluminum pan or whatever, and pop that on your grill or on your smoker, and let it render down while you're cooking your brisket. And now you have smoked beef tallow. You know, so excellent for making tortillas. I know you, Fed, have had
Oh,
the
yeah.
tortillas. Our brother Michael Wyant makes over there at Flores Tortillas. Awesome tortillas that he makes with beef tallow, smoked beef tallow. So really good stuff.
So Lonely Baritone says, I'm always really bad at brisket. How do you render that middle fat out? Every time I do it, it comes out gray and chewy.
Yeah. And what was the name again?
Lonely Baritone.
Lonely Baritone. Lonely Baritone. I'm guessing band member, former band member. So LB, man, you're just not cooking it long enough. You know, it takes time. When you see, the thing is this, and this is why I say to people, I'm not going to give you a finishing temperature, because briskets are different. Each brisket is different. I can go to the store right now and get another brisket, same size as this, and it's going to cook differently. It's just the nature of the beast. That's the way it works. So what happens is that, people get told sometimes that, oh, you have to pull your brisket at 200 and whatever degrees, 201, 207, 202, 205, whatever that temperature is. The problem is that not all briskets are done at the temperature that you're told to pull it at. So you don't use a number as the indicator. You're actually using your hands, touching the brisket, feeling the bend, using your meat probe just by, and if you don't have a meat probe, use a toothpick or something, but you're wanting to feel just how, you don't want any resistance, is really what it comes down to. If you've got let me put these on and I'll show you here. If you've got your brisket cooked and you're wrapped up, let's just say you're still wrapped up in your aluminum foil or your butcher paper. This is a good deal to do. Is you want to grab your brisket, you want to put your hands underneath. Now remember, this brisket is still really cold, so it's not going to be floppy or anything, but what you want to do is get your fingers underneath that brisket, and you want to kind of feel the bend. Now, obviously, this point is thicker and it's still cold, whereas the flat is cold, but it's already completely thawed, so you can see the flat kind of give it a little flop there. If you feel that floppiness like this right here, that's what you're feeling for when you got this brisket cooked. You're wanting to really feel that bend, and you want to feel that brisket just kind of lay over your fingers, kind of like a blanket. Now it's just going to fold. That's how you know you've got that thing rendered, really well. If you don't have that fat rendered really well, it's going to be more like this. And you can feel how you can see how this is just a lot more stiff. Now, granted, again, this is because this is still really cold, but you can still feel the stiffness in it. That's what you're going to be feeling for when you're using your fingers, underneath that brisket when it's still hot, and you can feel whether or not that brisket is done. So that's another good indication as to whether or not that brisket is done. Once that brisket really gets done, Lonely Baritone, you're looking for all of those connective tissues to get broken down inside that brisket to make it really nice and tender. So that fat has to have that time to really render out in the middle. The decal has to have that time to really render out, and the meat has to have that connective tissue kind of break down to get it nice and soft and, buttery smoothness. That's what you're looking for. So give it more time. If you're pulling your briskets and it's still kind of gray or whatever in the middle there, it's probably not done just yet. You probably need to, keep it going for a little bit longer.
So Lucas wants to know, is that a Louisiana Kamado in the back? And Dustin made the comment that that's your weapon for brisket. So are you cooking on the Louisiana tonight?
Well, good eye, but this one's not the Louisiana. This one is the GRILLZ Kong. So this is a different Kamado than you guys have probably seen here on Barbecue Boulevard before. This is, like I said, the GRILLZ Kong that we have here. This is one we use today, cooking on. Plenty of space inside it. And we did, like I said, we did mussels in a cast iron skillet on this thing today, and grilled up some bread and all that. So we just had a little bit of coals in there. And so that's what we use for this. The Louisiana Grills is over there, if you want to show them that. So that's the Louisiana Grills Kamado. And I don't know which one we're going to use tonight. We'll have to see.
All right. So, West Coast Cajun says he showed you what spice to use on it. Or what to use on it.
You know, Blevin, one of the things that I was always told as a kid is I'm hard-headed and don't pay attention.
Boy, is that ever true.
Hey, again, send your applications for
Oh, I'm sorry, we're reconnecting right
cameraman.
now. There's some there's some issues with the internet.
Yeah. No, but I don't know, man. I just really I'm really partial to salt and pepper. But you know what? I'll let Jean decide what she wants on this brisket.
Ooh. So we going sweet heat. Is what I'm hearing.
Basically, we're gonna have to cook another brisket.
Yeah. Basically, Al said, I guess I'm not getting
I'm
none.
not eating any brisket then.
Grumpus made a comment based on your talking about the different grades. That basically technique trumps grade.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely. Grumpus, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
When I speak about this, you know, guys, I'm speaking of it from a standpoint of you know, maybe people that aren't as experienced in brisket, you know, and the misconception, at least to us guys that make brisket, you know, often, the misconception is that brisket is really hard to make. When you really get to the point that you know what you're doing, brisket is probably one of the easiest meats to cook. And it's just that way. When you're cooking a select grade, yeah, you have less fat in the meat, and it's a little trickier to get it to be just as tender as say a prime. Now I have absolutely had select brisket that would rival a prime, but it's not cooked exactly the same way. You know, it takes a little bit more time. You got to be a little bit more precise with maintaining your temperatures and things of that nature, just so that you can maintain the integrity of the meat and just get it to really break down evenly. So I don't approach it from that standpoint because, again, what I'm doing here is I'm really trying to appeal to the masses of people that maybe aren't versed or as well versed in making brisket and have a fear or a complex about making brisket because of a bad experience, or I don't want to waste, you know, money on meat and this and that and the other. And I'm trying to just put it out there so that it's very easy to take the principles that I put in making brisket and apply it to how you do your cook, and hopefully have a successful experience in making that brisket. So, but you're absolutely right, Grumpus. If you got great technique in making brisket, you can make a select brisket that's pretty dang awesome.
So Leonard Gelreich talks about using peach jelly as a binder.
See, I'm not a fan of that, you know, and I'm not sure if everybody can hear you, but Leonard, you said, is using peach jelly as a binder sometimes. I mean, and if that works for you, man, by all means, go for it. For me, and it's kind of like what Gene was just joking about. I'm not a sweet beef person. I don't like sweet beef. And I get it that you're using peach jelly as a binder and that it breaks down and it may not be sweet or whatever by the end of the cook or whatever. But at the same time, jellies have sugars in them for 12 hours or whatever on a pit. That's gonna get pretty dark, you know. And it's not necessarily a route that I would go. Now, if somebody made that brisket that had a peach jelly slather in it, would I try it? Absolutely. You know, absolutely. I'll try it out and see how it works out, and then you know what, change my mind. You know, is really all I can say to it.
So LGH says, I opened up my own barbecue truck because of you.
Nice.
I asked you for a link so we can check it out.
Yeah. What was the name again?
LGH.
LGH opened up because of me. Me. Dude, that's awesome, bro. That's absolutely awesome, man. And absolutely, yeah. You know, get the information, Gene, so we can go check that out. And man, hey, good luck with that business, and hopefully it pans out. Now, with that said, if you use some of my techniques and principles and they don't like it, don't say it came from me. So no, but that's awesome, man. I really do appreciate that, man. And good luck with that business for real.
So Shane is amazed at how much came off that brisket.
Yeah,
You want to give that shot again?
it's a lot, isn't it? It absolutely is a lot.
So as this plane passes, West Coast Cajun wants to know if you ever inject your biscuits.
Have I before? Yeah. So the question is whether or not, I don't know if you guys can hear that with the plane flying over here, but do I inject briskets? And yeah, I've done it before. I don't do it anymore. I did that more so when I was in the pursuit of trying to figure out how to make a decent brisket for me. And you try all the different whatevers. I'm no different than the rest of you guys. Yeah, I went through injecting briskets or whatever, but I find that I don't really like to do that as much. I'm not in a competition. I'm not trying to make that perfect bite. It has to have that perfect bite, or whatever that the competition cooks. That's what they have to go through and experience. So I don't typically do that for backyard barbecue. It's just straight up salt and pepper and post oak, and that's pretty much going to be it for me. I will play around with other rubs. Uncle Steve's competition cow powder is a really good one. The Fiesta brand brisket rub is a really good one. SPG from Suckle Busters is a really good one with some 1836 also from Suckle Busters. Those are really good rubs. The musket powder is a really good rub with the coffee in the rub. That one is a really good one. And those are the ones that come to mind. There's tons of really fantastic rubs out there that work really well. But you know what? Again, I just tend to end up going back to salt and pepper, and it works out really well for me.
So Matt Williamson is saying, Dawgfatha just found your channel today. In the middle of my first brisket cook, appreciate all of the tips. What's your favorite grill smoker for brisket?
What's my favorite grill or smoker for brisket? And what was the name one more time? Matt, you said?
Matt Williamson.
Matt Williamson. Welcome to the channel, brother. I'm glad you found us. You're not late to the party. You just getting here to hang out with us. Appreciate you for dropping in here. And good luck with the brisket cook. What is my favorite cooker for brisket?
The one nearest you?
Yeah, pretty much. I don't know if I necessarily have a favorite cooker for brisket. It really kind of depends on the mood that I'm in and what I want to cook on. There's things I haven't cooked on in a long time, like my offset smoker over there, my LonestarGrillz offset. Man, it just really depends on the mood that I'm in and what I want to cook on. I will tell you this. I'll admit this. I have not made a brisket on my pit barrel cooker yet. If you guys don't know about pit barrel cookers, they're phenomenal little cookers, and they give a great flavor on your meat. But it's a little different, than smoking offset or what have you in your traditional smokers or Kamados or Weber kettles or whatever. But I just haven't done it yet. But I do want to do that. But I don't think I have a favorite cooker for brisket, to be honest with you. I think right now I don't even think I have a favorite cooker. I think I like them all. I've been blessed and fortunate to have plenty of cookers to call my playground. But with that said, I'm really looking forward to getting my backline smoker trailer pit that should be right around the corner. We'll see. Once we get that, we'll start getting in there, cranking out some. We'll start cranking out some of the offset cooker cooks, and that should be a lot of fun. So, but you know what? How many people we got in the chat right now?
89.
89. Tell you what, I feel like doing a giveaway.
Okay.
And
what you giving away?
we're gonna
Right.
Give away my knife.
We're gonna give away a pair of
Magna
Chef gloves, guys. That's what we're gonna do. Why am I doing that?
Because you
What
can.
on earth would make the Dawgfatha do a giveaway in the middle of a live stream and give away some gloves? Do you know, Gene? Do you know?
I don't know, man.
You don't know.
Nah.
Do you know, Gene?
Is you celebrating those numbers going up on the
There
screen?
you go. That's right. See, we in tune. I like that. Guys, we are the Dog Pound is 90,000 subscribers strong as of today. Today, guys, we hit 90,000. So that's when you say that, it just sounds crazy, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Done it. 90,000 of you guys out there hit the red subscribe button, and I really appreciate that. So I want to give away some Magna Chef gloves to you guys today. So this is what we're gonna do. Gene, you are monitoring the chat. You're gonna be looking for the answer, And I tell you what, Fed, you show him the brisket right here for a minute, and I'm gonna make sure we're on the same page here.
Oh, I see. All right, all right. So, guys, what's going on? I see some questions going through there. Miss Jean moderating. She'll get there in a minute. Yeah, y'all mentioned all of this coming off. So I know Mr. Alton's going to do a lot of good things with what he got here. That smoked tallow is really going to be real good. Peeling off all that meat. Ooh, that brisket is looking pretty good. And for those who joined early, you saw what it looked like when we started. All right, all right.
That's gonna get the old timers going.
Oh. So you're getting a good
And
look at
we're
that
back.
brisket
Oh,
there?
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right. All right, guys. So again, we're gonna do a giveaway, and in fact, I should have probably grabbed the gloves. Let me grab the gloves right quick. You entertain the dog pound, guys. I'm gonna go grab these gloves right quick. I'll be right back.
All right, all right. Oh, you know what, Dave? Crippen tallow video.
Joshua says that he made his smoked brisket mac and cheese recipe today, and it was good.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice. Miss Jean, what we got with Dave Crippen threw something out there about maybe doing the tallow video.
Oh yeah. Well, see, here's the complication of a tallow video. You just grab all this tallow and you put it in a crock pot. And you let it go overnight. That's pretty much it. I don't know if you can hear.
Okay, so
But yeah.
if y'all heard Miss Jean, she said the problem with the video is basically take all this fat, put it in a crock pot, and let it go overnight. Maybe we'll have to, what is that? What do they call it? A time capture?
Lapse,
Time
right?
lapse. There you go.
Right? And then the last thing is basically you strain out all the particles and stuff, and you run it through a cheesecloth so you just get the fat, and it becomes this beautiful white fat.
Talking about big tallow?
Yeah.
They want a video on the tallow. I'm like,
Yeah, I need
throw it
to
in the
do
crock
one.
pot.
I need to do one for sure. So guys, here we go. Look at there. Black. I reached in the box, grabbed a pair, they came out black. So black, just like the ones that I use right here. You've seen them right here on Barbecue Boulevard. And
Rick says, pay attention.
yeah, guys. Hey, because this is going to be a fun one. You've seen these gloves in my most famous video, my most popular video. That most popular video happens to be a brisket cooking video. It happens to be, you know, smoked brisket for beginners, right? Right? You guys have seen the video, right? So, question for you guys is this. First one that pops across Jean's screen with the correct answer will win these gloves right here, okay? The question is this, quite simple. Yeah, we did that brisket video, but what cooker did we cook it on?
Oh,
What cooker did we cook that brisket video on, guys? First one with the correct answer gets a pair of Magna Chef gloves as a thank you for, you know, hanging out with the Dawgfatha and helping me to get this 90,000 sub count. So
She Hurt says Weber Grill. West Cajun says Weber Grill. Joshua says Pellet. Jeffrey says Weber Kettle. Kevin Offset. Dustin Comedo.
what is
Nice.
our color?
Bobby Santa Maria. Chris Weber.
nope,
Louisiana Grill. Smoky Mountain. Smoky Weber. Weber
No.
Kettle.
haven't heard it yet.
Crap, this was my first time. Green Mountain. Davy Crockett.
You just throwing names out there.
Yeah, this is throwing
Yoder.
names out
Dave
there.
Crippen. Yoder.
Who?
Dave Crippen. Yoder.
Dave Crippen. Dave
Oh,
Crippen.
all right.
That's right. It's the Yoder.
And that's the man that wanted the video on the
Yeah,
tallow.
There you go.
There you
It was
go.
the Yoder YS640, guys. That's absolutely right. The Yoder YS640 was the smoker that we used in that brisket, that smoked brisket for beginners. It's actually
Currently
up
covered right now.
Yep.
But yeah, that's the video. So Dave Crippen, here's what I need you to do.
Okay,
Okay.
let me ask here.
Okay.
Because we've only had 2 people who said Yoder.
Okay.
Can we do a second prize?
Can we do a second prize?
Can we do a second prize? Because we've got Tommy Smith here. Tommy Morris said Yoder too. And he's like one after. Can we do a second pair of
Tommy.
gloves?
So Tommy Morris.
Tommy Morris.
Tommy.
So Dave Crippen was first.
Dave Crippen was first.
And then somebody said something else. And then Tommy Morris said Yoder. And everybody else was wrong.
Yeah, everybody
So
else
you
was
had
wrong.
2 boys.
So
that
I
said that.
tell you what I'll do then. Tommy Morris and Dave Crippen. Okay, you guys are going to be the winners. So I give away 2 pairs of gloves today.
All right.
So this is what we're going to do, guys. What I need you to do is I need you to hit me up through email. Shoot me an email to my Gmail account, which is TheDawgfathersBBQ@gmail.com. And remember, it's TheDawgfatharsBBQ@gmail.com. Shoot me an email. Send me your name, address, and I'll get those sent out to you ASAP. All right. Congratulations to you guys for winning these gloves. Again, I really do appreciate you guys for popping in here and hanging out with the Dawgfatha Federico and Gene for a Saturday evening brisket trimming, guys. And man, I'll tell you what, man, I think we probably hit everything we needed to hit, right?
Hey,
Oh,
one.
I got more questions.
I was about to
there's
say,
more questions?
yeah.
We've had 95 people in here. We got more
Oh,
people
so
coming
people
in.
want more.
Got some
Okay,
good
all right,
questions.
all
We
right.
got love from New Zealand. We got love from Chicago. We got love from California.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, hell, I guess we'll keep hanging out, but
Let me swing this back.
you
here.
guys make sure you
Wow.
send me those emails, send me your information, so I can get those out to you guys. I will give you fair warning right now. I have a really busy week coming up this week, and I probably won't be able to get to the post office until probably Thursday because they're closed when I'm going to be leaving. They're going to be closed by the time I get back. So I'm probably not going to get there until Thursday or so, guys, but I will get those out to you. So please make sure you drop those emails to me and give me your information, and I'll respond back to you and let you know what's going on, okay?
We got Arizona in the house times two different Arizonas.
Yeah.
We got Washington State. We got North Carolina.
Nice.
Okay, so let me swing back here for just a second.
Okay, go for it.
So S. Reyes.
S. Reyes.
S. Reyes 78. Have you ever tried the boat method?
S. Reyes. That's
I don't know what that is.
very interesting. I have. So here's the thing. So for the question is, have we tried the boat method on brisket? Okay. For those of you that don't know about the boat method, basically, you remember, Gene, when we were putting together our barbecue crawls,
Yeah.
and we went over to Freedman's,
Yeah.
and our brother Evan Leroy was pitmaster there at the time, and hooked us up and everything. So Evan and his crew, he now has a place called Leroy and Lewis. Evan and his crew, as a way that they were checking their briskets for doneness and this and that and the other and blah blah blah, when they were in foil, they kind of stumbled across what's called the boat method. It became the boat method, aluminum foil boat method. And what they do is basically when you go to wrap your brisket, you've got your fat cap up, okay? You lay your foil down, put your brisket on your foil, and you're literally crumping that foil up all the way around the brisket, leaving the entire fat cap of the brisket exposed. Okay? And then you put it back on the grill. What does that do? Well, what that does is it gives you a good crunchy bark across the fat. At the same time, you got your meat that's going to be laying down in your aluminum foil that's going to be in those juices and just kind of braising away. So it really yields for a really tender underneath brisket meat, meat side of it. It's going to be really tender, and your fat cap is going to have a good crunchy bark to it. So that's what they call the boat method. And as a matter of fact, our good buddy old Bradley over at Chud's Barbecue actually posted, Instagram post today where they had some briskets on. They actually put, in the boat method. So boat method is a really cool method. I have not actually done it, and I was actually thinking I might do it with this one today. So we'll see. I might play around with it, or I might just wait and I might just do that for a video. When we do when we get back to smoking on our backline smoker for offset cooking. So yeah.
All right. So we've got Milwaukee by way of Grapevine, Texas. We've got
Nice.
Central Alabama.
Alabama's
We
in the
got
house. Hey, wait.
Virginia.
How you just gonna slide right over Alabama and not do it? You gotta do it. You gotta do it. There you go.
We got Virginia and Minnesota.
Hey, VA's in the house. Minnesota.
Minnesota.
What's up?
Northern Indiana.
Nice.
We got New York.
New York.
We've got Ontario, Canada.
So Ontario. Who's from Ontario? Did it say?
Travis Recollect.
Travis is from Ontario. So here's the thing. I got a friend of mine that's up in Ontario, and she was telling me about Ontario's having the, lockdown, whatever. Then I saw something on the news where I think either they were starting some real severe, strict lockdown either today or yesterday or something. Travis, is that true? Are y'all really on some really severe lockdown? I mean, what's going on over there?
We'll wait and see what he says.
Yeah.
So Cypress Blue Laura says Alberta, Canada, eh? Central Iowa checking in, Connecticut.
Man, we got people from. So I keep saying, man. I mean, the cameraman.
Let me look at this over here because he's tripping.
The cameraman over here.
Again, you trim. Yeah, see, that was a lot of stuff we trimmed off of there. Huh?
Yeah, it was. I gotta show because you know what? When you talk about these Dawgftha knives and your Frostfire knife, look at this. Look at this sheath that it comes in. Isn't that pretty cool? Look at that.
Snaps.
The little snap button right across the front, right there. Look at that. That's pretty cool. Anyway.
That's some old Game of Thrones type mess right there.
I know.
So Dave Crippen, one of our winners tonight, said, just did a brisket seasoning on an 8-pound chub of bologna. Lord got me some red ring round steak tonight. Love that.
Some red ring round steak. That's funny. That's funny.
All right. Let's see. That were Rick's barbecue specialties.
Rick's in the house. What's up, Rick?
Give fist bumps. Everybody says that was T-Roy flying over. Probably one of the birds. Dustin DeWin talking about injections in brisket. He said that Justin Wilson used to stab and put garlic in the slit.
Yep. You know, my uncle used to do that back in the day. They would take brisket, and like you said, they put holes in the brisket, and they would actually put whole cloves of garlic throughout.
I've seen that with turkey and chicken.
Yeah.
So Awaken Alive says, I like Texas red rub and sugar with mustard sauce and beer, vinegar, mop sauce on an offset with pecan and applewood. Good thing he's not specific, right?
Yeah. I'm
Just generally speaking,
so
yeah.
what exactly are you doing here?
Yeah.
No, that's pretty descriptive, though.
Yeah.
I like that.
All right, so Matt C says, do you make beef tallow from trimmings and add to butcher paper when wrapping? Seems to be popular now.
No. Let me put this over here first. Cover our brisket up right quick. All right, and who asked the question here?
That was Matt.
Matt. So Matt asked if I'm following the newest craze of putting beef tallow in brisket. No, I'm not.
No. He's saying, do you make beef tallow from trimmings? And
Yes.
add to butcher paper. Oh, yeah. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I thought I understood that.
No, okay.
So yes, you do make beef tallow from the trimmings that we have right here. Yes, you make beef tallow from that, but no, I don't put that. I don't add beef tallow to a brisket. You know, briskets have plenty of fat on it already, so I don't feel the need to do that. I've done it with beef ribs. I've poured beef, a little beef tallow over top of beef ribs, when they're really crunchy, or whatever. I just don't really find the value in it, to be honest with you. I'm not telling you it's wrong. I'm not telling you it's dumb to do or anything like that. I'm just telling you that for me, I don't really see the value in it. I don't know. Maybe I might play around with it and see if there's something that is going to be added from all of that. But no, I'm pretty happy with what I've got going on and how I cook brisket. And so I know that I don't need to do like any major changes if I'm just doing something just to play around. Because often that's how you come across stuff, is you play around with stuff, and the next thing you know, I just found the latest and greatest craze of how to make brisket. I don't know, it just doesn't really appeal to me to try that. Like I said, it's kind of like taking water to the swimming pool. There's already water there. You don't need to take water to get in the pool, right? So I don't think you need to add fat to a brisket that's already rendering fat. That's just my opinion on it.
So Kevin wants to know, what do you think of pellet smokers?
Let's see. One.
We got 1,
2, 3. Felt like to count for a minute there. He don't really like pellet smokers. He just,
No.
He's a stick burner at heart.
Yeah, right.
So here's the thing. A lot of people they think that pellet smokers are cheating, or they're not barbecue, or they're this or they're that or they're whatever, blah blah blah. That's fine. I mean, everybody has their own opinion, and I'm not saying that's what you're saying. But you know what? They're fun to play with. You know, they're a lot of fun to play with. They will get the most novice of cookers to get their hands on some brisket and try to make something. And so I'm all for it, man. If that's what you got to use to get your foot in the door and you know, get in the game, so to speak, then go for it. I think they're fun. I think that you can make some pretty decent barbecue with a pellet smoker. Um, you know, I like them. You know, I like them. I'm not going to tell you all pellet smokers are created equal. You really get what you pay for. So if you happen to be in the market for one, you know what? Get something that has really good quality to it. You know, something with a little heft, hopefully, and you'll do well. You know, a good entry level. You know, these two here, the Grill Silverback, as well as the Louisiana Grills Black Label 1200. I mean, they're decent entry level, you know, pellet smokers. You know, now when you talk Yoder is definitely
And the angels sing.
yeah. No, Yoder is definitely not an entry level. I mean, it can be upper end of entry level with the smallest unit that they make. But the YS640 is what this one is here on a competition cart, and it's kind of expensive, but it's a great smoker. Works really well. So yeah.
Actually, there was I don't know if you saw it, Gene. There was a question about the Kamado in reference to how do you hold once you get to temp? How do you
Yeah.
hold it?
So that's a big thing, you know, with the Kamado cookers. A lot of people have issues maintaining temperatures in your Kamados. One thing about the Kamado here is this: you really have to pay attention at the startup. You know, I find that for me, when I'm starting up the grill, I don't want to let it get too hot. So, for instance, if I'm, you know, cooking at, you know, 275 degrees, excuse me, if I'm cooking at, say, 275 degrees, the first thing that you want to do is not light too many coals at one time. You know, I get my pile of coals down in there, my lump charcoal, and what I do is I tend to make a little well in the middle, and I'll light the middle and just the middle and let it kind of snake its way out. At the same time, once I get those coals in the middle lit, I've got the bottom vent wide open. If you want to come and show them that, Fed, I'll take this bottom vent, put that thing wide open. The top vent is going to be wide open, and that's going to create the most amount of draw. And that is absolutely what will kick those temperatures up for you. But this is the beginning. You're just starting it up, right? So once you get that, you know, going, you got that flow going through here, you're probably going to have a lot of smoke still coming out of here at that point. It's all good. Pay attention to your gauge here. And what I look for, because I happen to know, you know, when I burn this, I actually put a temperature probe in there, so I know that this gauge is actually really close to the food grade level. And so I know that if whatever temperature I'm seeing here, I'm fairly comfortable and confident that it's going to be pretty close to what I've got at my cooking level. So if I'm cooking at 275, once I hit that 200, 225 mark, now it's time to start slowing this thing down. Because if you don't slow it down, it will shoot past 275 and just keep going. Now, come back over, Fed. This is what I do. What I tend to do is I'll take this top dial and I'll pinch it all the way down to just over 0. So it's barely cracked open. Okay? So this thing will be barely cracked open. I'll come back down here and I will close this guy all the way. So if you can see, it's completely closed. But if I pull this other lever back, you now have this other slide that's got all the holes in it, right? So what I'll do is have that all the way over, and I'll come back over, try to see these holes from my angle. Oops. And I'll come back to where I have like just a few holes uncovered there. And what that'll do is that will really slow that climb down to where now you can get in the ballpark of being able to control how much that temperature is starting to climb on you. So once I get this thing pinched down to this right now, I'll kind of, you know, give it a few minutes. I'll look at my temperature gauge. If when I started doing that, it was at 220, you know, 200, 225, I'll come back here after, say, 4 or 5 minutes and look at this. And if this thing is like, you know, hitting 275, 300, I will actually pinch this down even tighter to maybe I've only got the first line of holes exposed to be able to pull air in. I've already got the top pretty much closed almost all the way down. At that point, with both of these Kamados, that temperature will kind of come up and then start settling back down. Once it starts to settle back down to where I want it to be, then what I do is I'll take this top dial and put it on probably halfway between the 0 and the 1. So it'll be about half. And then what I'll do is these holes down here, I've got 1, maybe 2 rows of holes open. I might actually crack it open to 1 more row of holes. At that point, this thing pretty much settles in. Both of them actually are pretty equal in doing that. They will pretty much settle in on their own right then and there. And I will sit there between 275, 300, sometimes down to 260. But it'll be right there in that ballpark for me. And it sits pretty rock solid for the duration of my cook. So that works out really well for me on these guys. As well as if you happen to have a CyberQ Ultra Q, they work really well with these Kamados. Basically, it's a fan system that you install a little adapter down here in your bottom vent. You attach the fan to it. It's got a probe that comes up and clips onto your rack inside your pit. You set the temperature through the app as to what you want that temperature to be, and it'll keep feeding air to your coals and sensing temperature. And once it gets to where it needs to be, it'll kill the fan, and it actually steps it up. It has enough sophistication about it that it can detect that it's getting to your temperature, and it'll slow down your fan and start puffing it so it slows that climb. But once it gets there and it settles that thing in, rock solid. Rock solid. I think we've run this for the LonestarGrillz with that Ultra Q, what, 15, 16 hours, babe?
Yeah.
So absolutely is a great little tool to use. But you know what? You don't have to have it if you just dial it in. So
Thoughts on the Masterbuilt Gravity Grills?
Masterbuilt Gravity Grills. I've never ever cooked on one. I hadn't even seen one in person until a couple of weeks ago. I think we were at Home Depot. And
that one probably was not the best representation of
it probably was not the best representation of their units. It was a lot smaller than I thought it was going to be. That's what she said. But no, it was a lot smaller than I thought it was going to be. And the particular one that we were looking at was really flimsy, you know, and I was just kind of like, wow, you know, I didn't expect that. They look so, from other people I know that's cooked on them, they look so solid and look, you know, pretty well built. And then when I actually saw it in person, I was just kind of like, wow, okay. But I don't know. They might cook phenomenally. I don't know.
So Arturo Valdez says, I went for a 4-pound brisket from the butcher.
Wait, we'll say that again.
4-pound brisket from the butcher to my first wood pellet and looking to make it tomorrow. What's the big difference between cooking a 4-pound versus, let's say, a 7-pound?
Okay, so.
And I guess what we need to talk about here is the probability of it being a completely intact 4-pound brisket.
Right.
So it's probably just.
So yeah. So here's the thing. So the question is that he has it was Arturo. Is that what you said? Arturo. You said you have a 4-pound brisket, and what's the difference in cooking a 4-pound brisket versus say us cooking this monster brisket we got here? The thing is this, I would probably think that if you're cooking a 4-pound brisket, you're not cooking a whole brisket. You're not cooking a whole Packer brisket. Packer brisket consists of the point and the flat. Both muscles are still intact with the decal. If you're at 4 pounds, I'm thinking you're probably cooking either a flat that you bought from the store or a point that you may have bought from the store. Big difference in the way you're going to cook them. First off, I never, ever, ever, ever buy just a flat. It's just me. I'll tend to buy a whole brisket and trim it down or whatever. If I'm not gonna cook the whole thing or what have you, then I'll part it out or whatever, put some in the freezer, and then cook what I'm gonna cook for whatever application I'm gonna do. Now, with that said, if you're cooking a flat, the flat just doesn't have the same amount of fat in it. It doesn't have the same amount of moisture in that meat that's gonna be able to keep it nice and tender, the same as say a point would. So with a flat, what I tell people is the first part of it, you're going to cook it the same. Remember, guys, the first part of your cook is you're putting smoke flavor on your meat. Okay. I've often said, you guys that have been riding with me for a while, you smoke to the color you want, you wrap it until you get to the tenderness that you want, and then you let it rest. That simple. Now, with a flat, yeah, you smoke it to the color you want, you got it there, this and that, the other. Now you want to wrap it. At this point, I would tell you, put it in an aluminum pan. Put it in an aluminum pan, get you some, apple cider vinegar and apple juice, or some beef broth, or, whatever you want to do as a braising liquid. Put that in there and kind of braise that brisket flat, because it's just not. I've never had cooking a brisket flat on its own work out consistently. I've hit the mark a few times, but it's not consistent for me unless I put it in a pan and get some liquid in there to kind of braise it to help that meat get nice and tender and stay moist. So that's what I would suggest. There's how many people in here? There might be a lot of people in here that have gotten a lot more experience with cooking just a flat than me. So maybe somebody's got some good tips out there, but that's what I would do. If I'm cooking a point, I'll pretty much cook the point the same way I do the whole brisket, because the point can stand it. The point's got plenty of fat in it, and I don't have to worry about it.
So, okay. So, Sinadra was asking the same question as soon as you started answering. Arturo confirmed it was a flat.
Okay.
And Sinadra was asking specifically about a flat without a point at the same time.
Yeah.
So you can get both of those at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely. A flat can be a great cut to make. You have to kind of know what you're looking for when you're going to do that. Like, what would be a situation where I would buy a flat? Maybe if I'm just going to make slices, if I'm going to make sandwiches with them, and then maybe I'll buy a flat just because I know it's going to be cooked faster, or maybe I know I'm going to make pastrami out of it. I'll buy a flat, because you're going to be putting it in a brine solution for 7 to 10, 12 days or whatever. And it's a little bit different process, but you know what? That's the applications of which maybe I would buy a flat.
So Darnell wants to know, will that fan work on an offset, or is it only specifically for that cooker?
Is that Darnell Medley?
Yeah.
Darnell's in the house. What's up, Darnell? Man, always glad to see you, brother. So here's the thing. So no, the fans, they do work on offsets. They work on Weber kettles. They work on a myriad of different grills. I actually have it's called a Party Q. I don't even think they make them anymore for CyberQ. This one is a battery operated fan system by Barbecue Guru that I got specifically for the Weber kettle. You drill a hole in the Weber kettle. I mean, you got to do it in specific spots, or whatever, so you don't interfere with the touch-free whatever that cleans the bottom of the grill. But anyway, you drill a hole in, you pop this adapter in there, secure it in place or whatever, and the same thing, the fan attaches to this adapter. You close off your vents on the bottom, and at that point, you just have this fan system that's feeding your coal. Same thing with an offset cooker. If your offset cooker actually has a hole in the firebox, or if it is able to attach to your vents, where you actually have your damper that opens and closes. If you have it to where it can, there's an adapter made, because you can go to Barbecue Guru. That's BBQ GURU, Barbecue Guru. I believe that you can actually go in there and search for their units by your specific grill. And again, you can pop these things onto your offset cooker and they work great. You can pop them onto your Weber kettle, your Kamado, all of these different cookers. They will work.
So Rick thinks that we should be giving autograph photos of Fed as prizes.
Appreciate you, Rick.
Yeah.
Maybe we should turn the camera around and ask Federico questions. Man.
I'm good.
You've been hanging out on Barbecue Boulevard for a while, on location when we go and do things, man.
Oh, yeah.
You should be doing this in your sleep right now.
So Steve Rice wants to know, what's your opinion of cooking steak on grill grates on a pellet grill?
It absolutely works if you have a pellet grill that will get hot enough. Grill grates, I absolutely love grill grates. If you guys out there don't have grill grates, look down there in the description box and click on the link and go to my link tree, and you'll see a link for for grill grates. You know, get on in there and get you a set of grill grates. But absolutely, if your pellet grill can get hot enough, absolutely they work out well. Give you an idea, here on the silverback here, this guy does not have direct access to your fire pot. Whereas on the Yoder, I have an insert that I can pull out in a 2-piece diffuser plate. So I'll have an opening that goes right over top of the fire pot, so I can put my grill grates right over top of it in direct flame. The same thing with the LonestarGrillz. That one has a sear tech port that I can open up, which gives you slots that are directly over your fire pot. And you can put your grill grates directly over that and get that heat you want on those grill grates. Now on a grill like this, where you don't have access to that fire pot in the same general way, you just basically have to crank the temperature up. This one here, I think I run this one up to 500 degrees. I'll pop my grill grates right onto the rack, you know, just as normal, and let them get hot.
All right, so Wreath and Rifle Forge said, happy to see you doing this. I just trimmed this one this morning. Let's see if I did it right.
Hey, maybe I didn't do it right. Maybe you did it right and I didn't. I don't know.
Let's see. I'm catching up in the chat.
I'll tell you what. Let me grab the camera from my man here. Let's get this thing turned around here. Let me get turned around here and let's go sit down at the table with the dog pound and field some questions.
So Laura says they are locking them down. My mom lives in Ontario. If Alberta does not smarten up, we'll be locked up too. Or locked down too.
Well, that sucks.
Yeah. So One Delicious just trying to start a channel today. Very nervous. Any advice?
What was the name?
One Delish.
One Delish is starting a YouTube channel?
Starting a YouTube channel.
Congratulations, One Delish. And I'm assuming with a name like that, it's got to be a cooking channel, right?
Gotta be, right?
Got to be a cooking channel. So here's the thing, One Delish. This is what I'm going to say. All right. And there's plenty of people out here that have channels that's in the chat, and they're probably going to, chime in and give you their 2 cents as well. But this is what I'm going to say about this, okay? Number one, have fun. If it's not fun, don't do it. Okay? Have fun with what you do. All right? Number two, understand what your goal is for your channel. You either are in the camp of you just want to make videos because you want to make videos and you want to do whatever you want to do and that's the end of it, or you want to do that as well as you want to grow your channel. So if you're looking at it in the sense that you want to make your videos, but you want to grow your channel, the biggest piece of advice that I can give you is make sure you understand what your channel analytics are telling you, because you might be the best at making, and I'm just going to grab, an item. Let's just say you're the best at, making chicken fried steak. But you happen to have made a burger video and the burger took off. And when you went back and made another chicken fried steak video, it didn't do anything, but you made a burger video and again, it took off. You're not a chicken fried steak channel. You're a burger channel now. So basically I say that to say that if you're trying to grow the channel, listen to the analytics, give your viewers what they want to see from you. Okay, that may not align with what you think your channel is. And so as a content creator, sometimes we have to be able to swallow our pride and give our viewers what they really want to see. Okay, so that would be the biggest thing that I would say. Good luck with the channel. Feel free to hit me up anytime. You can reach me on Instagram, same name as what you see here for the YouTube channel. And hey, I'll help you out as much as I can. So good luck with that.
All right, so Sinadra says, I bought a standing rib roast and have no idea how to smoke it. Gonna try a smoky and savory cook.
Ah, cool. All right, so here's the thing. It's funny you mentioned that. I want to say this was within the first probably 3 or 4 videos that I did. We did a standing rib roast. You remember that?
Yeah,
It was for Christmas, as a matter of fact.
I enjoyed it.
And again, I'm gonna direct you to go check out that video, but at the same time, I'm gonna remind you this was in the very, very beginning. This was back still filming on a cell phone, which I'm not saying there's anything wrong with filming on a cell phone, but when you combine the fact of filming on a cell phone and really not knowing what the hell I was doing, it was an interesting video. But what I'm saying with that is that to give you a good idea of how to make a ribeye roast, how you can, and I forgot what the terminology is, but you basically make the cut where it's down the bone, and kind of separate the meat from the bone, but you lay it back on the bone and you cook it. I mean, it's just whatever. But go check out that video. Look for ribeye roast. Do a search in my videos for ribeye roast, and you'll find it. But again, this was way back. This was Christmas time from 2018, I believe it was. So, yeah, ribeye roasts are very good meats to make, and they're very impressive when you make them really well.
So we have a hello from Australia.
Australia's in the house. You know what? I got much love for my Australian people. The Australian people love the Dawgfatha's barbecue YouTube channel, and I love my people from Australia. One of these days, we're gonna have to go down under, man. Take the show on the road.
That's a hell of a trip.
That's a hell of a trip. That's a serious write-off.
Well, and right now you can't do it because there's a lot of restrictions.
Yeah.
Travel,
Yeah.
So
What you got?
Nate Lee says, how long have you been sharing barbecue content?
Started this channel in December of 2018. As a matter of fact, directly because of my man Federico here, as well as Gene, they pushed me to get it done, and so we finally went ahead and did it. So yeah,
exactly.
They basically nagged me to death, but no, we did barbecue catering and that type of thing before, and then we kind of laid off of that for a little bit, and then kind of got back into doing some of the personalized cooking type deals, and then we launched the YouTube channel in 2018, and we've been cranking along ever since. And going back to One Delish, that had said, about, starting a YouTube channel. It was kind of one of those things with me. I'm a stick burner by heart, but you know what? Started making some videos, and I had a pellet cooker, Yoder YS640, that I made some videos on that took off. And the next thing you know, I'm a pellet cooker channel. And it's funny listening to the comments, people telling me, "Oh, dude, you cook on a pellet smoker. I thought you knew how to barbecue. You're not from Texas." You're right. I'm not. You're right.
Technically,
I ain't gonna argue with you. It's all good. You're right. I'm not from Texas, right?
I just lost the question.
You lost the question.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, where is it? Oh, so Laura wants to know, how wide is that one that Alton is talking about in inches? I'm assuming she's talking about
wide
the
is
grill
that one?
grills.
Oh,
Yeah.
How wide is what?
I'm assuming she's talking about that grill.
Oh, the
grill,
Kamado?
the Kamado, yeah.
The Kamado grill. Laura, you're asking how wide is the grill? If you're talking about because Gina's saying the
I think it's the
Kamado?
Kamado, yeah.
All right, so the Grilla Grill's Kong Kamado is a 24-inch Kamado, and the Louisiana Grills one is a 22-inch.
And confirmed for Thomas, it is ceramic.
It is ceramic, correct.
Yes.
The Kamado grill is ceramic, Thomas. Yes.
And Thomas says those ceramic grills take hardly use any coals or wood chips. They make smoking so much easier.
Yeah, they absolutely can. And they're self-cleaning. I had mentioned, I think in one of the videos before, how basically when you finish cooking, you can open up the top vents and the bottom vents and let that thing just go, and it'll get nice and hot and burn off everything. Trying to get it at an angle so that this doesn't do this with the lighting so much, but the exposure just kind of is getting crazy going back and forth. But
Because they're behind.
yeah.
So Sleeper Barbecue wants to know,
Hey, can you grab that stand from in there? Yeah.
why are people using apple cider vinegar versus apple cider juice vinegar as a tenderizer?
Why are people using apple cider vinegar instead of what?
It says apple cider vinegar versus apple cider juice.
So like just basically apple cider versus.
Basically asking, is vinegar a tenderizer?
Yeah. Vinegar can be a tenderizer, yes. And it's what is it? Am I saying this backwards? That it's acidic or it's a base or what? The vinegar,
acid.
it's acid. So it cuts that. It does cut richness. Let me grab this here for a second. Fed, can you entertain them for just a second?
Dog pound, what's going on?
Trying to get a stand here set up, guys.
Trying to get that set up. My back
Now
is killing me.
Samantha's here. Say hi to Samantha.
Hey, Samantha.
Samantha, is that Samantha Gillis?
Samantha Kilgore.
Oh, Samantha Kilgore.
Oh no, she says says my married name instead of my maiden name Gillis.
Ah, so you know. Okay.
So she married lady now.
So they was asking about apple cider vinegar juice versus apple cider vinegar.
Apple cider vinegar versus apple juice is what I'm.
Oh,
thinking it
okay.
means. Is
Gotcha.
vinegar a thing? And so Awaken Alive is jumping in saying yes, apple cider vinegar is a tenderizer and a flavor enhancer to offset the fattiness of pork beef.
Yeah.
Lemon juice is also a great tenderizer and flavor enhancer. Samantha says that she also bought a standing rib roast. They must be on sale because of Easter. And she's
Maybe.
never
Rib
cooked or
roast.
smoked one before.
Maybe.
That might
Alright,
be the
then.
case.
See if we can
Let
get
me
this
grab
put
this
up
link
here.
for Samantha too.
You spread this for me real quick. Dude.
At
this-
Samantha Kilgore. Standing.
Got that? Let me make sure I'm not gonna.
While they are adjusting, I'm hoping you can hear my voice.
All right.
One of the great things about the standing rib roast is that when he makes it, we literally put it in the fridge cold, and I shave it off and put it into salads and sandwiches, and it is the best.
Absolutely.
It doesn't even have to be hot.
Absolutely. All right, so hopefully this will be a little better because it doesn't look like it's bouncing in and out on the lighting here. So
Yeah, I was doing that with the focus.
Yeah. Awaken Alive, awesomeness, Dawgfatha, fun and great food. Dogzilla, love your videos, dude. Made some amazing briskets thanks to your instructional vids.
nice, appreciate that, man.
Dylan Style, finishing up some pork belly burnt ends right now, following your video recipe. Thanks so much for the detailed video.
Some pork belly burnt ends.
Yes,
I like
sir.
that. I like that.
Dogzilla, you should also narrate children's audiobooks with a voice like that. He gets that all the time.
That is so funny to me, you
all
know.
the time.
Yeah,
You and Samuel Jackson.
Samuel Jackson. I don't know what all that is, but
Oh, okay. So Sinadra is actually Samantha Kilgore. It's her Twitch name.
oh, okay,
So it's the same person.
cool.
Oh, you're catching the TV.
Oh, am I? Oh,
Thank you, Dustin.
yep. There we go.
Darnell says 50-50 apple cider vinegar to apple juice will work.
Yep, I used to do that quite a bit.
Yeah.
ACV
I
and
remember
apple
that.
juice. Yeah,
That's how you taught me.
yeah.
Yeah.
I used to do that quite a bit actually. I haven't done that in a while now.
Beta TV, big fan from Brazil.
Brazil.
Awesome. Barbecue modder.
I think when I went to I was at Brisket camp at Texas A&M, I think it was, and there was a few people from Brazil that actually made the trip and came out to College Station and hang out and learn how to make barbecue, and that was pretty cool.
So, let's see. Arturo Valadez says, thank you again. Once the splat comes out good, I'm going to have my son fork over some cash for the big brisket.
There you go, man.
There you go.
Absolutely.
And Kelton Graham says, have you ever heard of Lily Q barbecue sauce? Had a person tell me it's good, but haven't tried it. I haven't heard of it.
Man, that sounds familiar, and I'm trying to remember where I heard that from. I have not used it. I cannot remember.
Really cute. I haven't heard of it.
I actually, you know what? No, I think I'm thinking Carolina Q.
Mm.
I think I'm thinking the Carolina Q sauce that we've got in here. No, I don't think I have seen or heard of Lily Q.
Looks like it's based out of Destin.
That's in Florida.
Yeah.
Nice. Destin, Florida.
Looks
Destin,
like they've got
Florida in the
their
house.
whole setup there.
Man, we've been going for almost an hour and 45 minutes. The dog pound is going strong.
Right?
Hanging out on a Saturday, watching us trim brisket. Man.
Ruben Gallego says, what's up, brother?
Big Rome. What's going on, Big Rome? How you doing, bro?
And he just came in as Big Rome Barbecue. Woo, what's up, brothers? Arturo says, so want to wake my neighbors up tomorrow morning with the smell of smoke. Trying to figure out what time to start.
You know, man, when I first moved to Austin, I'm 19 years old, whatever, I had my first apartment, and we actually did, the thing that everybody does that's illegal, get the barbecue pit on the balcony. because that's just what we do.
What you keep trying to get me to do?
Yeah, man. But no, I used to work night shifts at the time, and I remember I would get off of work in the morning and stop by HEB and grab stuff and come home and fire up the grill. And people would be leaving to go to work, and here we are making barbecue, at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the morning. And it's like, dude, I got to feed my addiction. So.
We are actually caught up on questions.
We're caught up on questions.
We are
All
caught
right.
up on questions. And I sent out a, did I miss anything? Nope.
All right, cool.
Oh, look at that. Samantha Kilgore says, thank you. I searched but couldn't find it. Got some fresh rosemary, garlic, and thyme for it.
There you go. There you go.
Yep.
You got it. You hit it on the head, Samantha, with the rosemary. Perfect. And in fact, that's what I actually did on that ribeye roast was some garlic and some rosemary. And I don't know if you remember this, Fed, but I actually tied rosemary to the ribeye roast.
Oh, wow.
So it had rosemary laying across the top of it. And I actually did it on the Yoder Y640, as a matter of fact.
Okay.
So it does give a great flavor. I don't know, steak, beef and rosemary is just a really good combination. And now we know rosemary and mussels.
Ah, yes.
It makes a great combination with that Guinness. Guys, I am telling you, if you guys were not on the LonestarGrillz Facebook page earlier today when we did this live cook, you are missing out. Mm-hmm. It was a phenomenal cook. And I mean, these mussels were so freaking delicious. With that sauce, we literally made a Guinness cream sauce for these mussels, and it was just good. If you guys follow me on Instagram, last night we actually fired up the Louisiana grill, and we did some monster-sized clams. And these clams we did with a beer sauce that we used some Shiner. I can't remember the flavor. Do you remember the flavor of that beer from Shiner?
It was
just
the
a regular,
the regular.
So
one.
We had a beer. It was a Shiner beer, and we did this whole thing with the clam. These clams had to be, as a matter of fact, because I hadn't seen clams quite this big, but these clams were actually huge, and they were really freaking good. And so, if you guys have not seen that post with those clams, you gotta check it out. And in fact, hopefully you guys can see this, but let me see here if I can pull this. Look at this, guys. Look at these clams. Can y'all see that? Hopefully you guys can see that. It's not too blurry, but man, come on now. That right there is a clam. That's one clam. Come on, man.
They were like the size of your fist.
We literally made 6 clams.
All right.
We made 6 clams for this dish, and it filled up this pan, and it was some awesomeness. So again, if you haven't seen that, go check it out on my Instagram page or on the Facebook page for the Dawgfatha's barbecue. Check that out. But hey, we got any more questions before we get ready to bounce out of here?
We've got several that have just popped in.
We got some late entries. Come on.
Samantha says, and part of it is I missed them and I'll come in later, so they're reposting.
Okay.
So Samantha says, so do we think about using garlic and rosemary, salt and pepper, smoking it with hickory? She says she also has apple and cherry.
Samantha, I should be calling you for suggestions because man, you got it covered.
Go with the fruit.
You absolutely. When I did mine, I did it with hickory, and it worked out really well. And in fact, the video that I was referring to earlier, I did that. It was hickory that I did along with the rosemary and the garlic and all of that. So you got it. You got it, man. Just do you. Do you.
Mm-hmm. So Darnell wants to know, with Fed being the videographer, what's a decent starter video camera to use for a lot of walking and moving?
Okay, let's back up for a minute, Darnell. Let's back up. No. Now here's the thing, okay? And this is no knock, and I'm not being funny or anything like that. My man Federico is all about still shot photography. That is his thing. That's his bread and butter. And that's what he does, man. If Darnell, you're looking for something motion, you're looking for something that you're going to be maybe potentially vlogging with, things like that. Man, I would tell you honestly, a good camera for that is the Canon M50. That happens to be the camera that I use. I have the Canon M50 Mark One, and I literally just ordered the Mark II here the other day. The difference between the two is about $50. But the Mark II will give you a clean HDMI out if you decide that you want to do live streaming with it. You can literally live stream directly from the camera itself, which is pretty awesome. And it's got some enhancements with the autofocus. Both of them have a dual pixel autofocus, but the Mark II has actually where it can focus on your eyes more so than just the general face or point. And it's supposed to be a 30% increase in the amount of the effectiveness of the autofocus. So Canon M50 Mark II, I'm impartial because I'm a Canon guy, but that's what I would tell you. If you do happen to check those out, I will also tell you, Darnell, to make sure you get the correct glass for them. And I'm talking about the lenses. I've got the Sigma Trio, which is the 16 millimeter, the 30 millimeter, and the 56 millimeter. They have 1.4 on the aperture, so it gives you a good short, shallow depth of field of focus, so it can give you that good portrait look and blur out whatever you got going on back there. So check it out, man. Let me know what you think.
But tell them what you're using right now.
Right now,
Don't sleep on
this
this.
isn't well, this is, I'm just on a tablet right now. This is a tablet we're using for this live stream. And I don't shoot with the tablet, in the videos. The videos you see, I use my Canon M50. And so whenever I'm doing shots like this, like guys, today I'm doing these shots on my Canon M50. I'm doing that with my 16 millimeter 1.4. Whenever I'm doing food shots where I'm on the grill showing you food on the grill, or I'm prepping stuff on the table, I'm doing that with my 22 millimeter 2.0 pancake lens, and now I just upgraded and got the 30 millimeter and the 56 millimeter 1.4 from Sigma, that they're probably going to get in the rotation, and the 22 is probably going to get bounced. So I mean, it's just the way it is, and I learned a lot of this stuff from my man Federico, but again, he is a still shot photography person. So I mean, if you want to jump in and add in anything,
I mean, the only other
Turn
thing.
it around, show his face.
so come on over here to the light, bro.
Yeah. Come by here.
You want to just pull your chair right here?
No.
No.
No, the man's right. I mean, the only other thing I'm going to ask,
Wait, let me get out the way.
Some research we just did. What was it? The other day we were talking. Okay, I'm looking at you though. Yeah. Okay. I said, it's just. Man, Canon. When I was doing film, I was a Canon guy too. So one of the things that I read recently, the Canon, what was that? The EOS R, is another option to look at. Again, like my man said, I'm more into the stills photography, so I don't know, a whole lot about the film. But from the guys that I follow, this man here and other guys that I watch on YouTube, between the Canon M50 and the Canon EOS R series, I think you can't go wrong. Because I think we mentioned like Peter McKinnon, who's a guy I watch a lot on photography. I know he does the Canon EOS R series of cameras. So that's another option you probably look into.
Yeah, and if you guys don't know what that means, is when you're talking about R, the one that I have is the EFM. Basically, that's the lens mounting, and so for the mirrorless, my camera is a mirrorless camera. Basically, it just means you don't have the mirrors bouncing the image to the sensor from the lens. It's just a straight direct through the lens to the sensor itself. And what happens is you have lenses that are made for the M or for the R series or so forth. Now, they make an adapter that you can use R series lenses on an M or mirrorless EFM camera. But if you happen to buy a Canon M50 that's an EFM, and then you decide you want to go to an R series later, you're going to have to start over and buy lenses for the R, because the EFM lenses are not adaptable to the R series. Okay, so I just want to make sure I threw that out there just in case. So Darnell wouldn't want you to buy a M50 and go the EFM route, and then later decide you want to, 2 years down the road go to a R, and then now you have to buy all new glass. So just want to make sure I threw that out there.
So Man versus Food wanted to remind us that the term is called Frenching for cutting the meat off the bone, the back of the bone.
No, that I know about Frenching. That's not what I'm talking about.
Ah.
What I'm talking about is the term where they cut the meat, where you have the bones and you cut the meat, so the meat actually flips over, and you have bones laying
Like
underneath.
butterfly?
It's kind of like butterfly, but it's not butterfly. And the terminology was given to me from my guy Scott at Happy to Meet You. And I was talking to him, and I can't remember the terminology for that. But you're right. Frenching the ribeye roast is, you're basically going in between the bones and cutting the meat out and cleaning the bones so they're really, really, really clean. So yeah, I do know about that.
So Dino Dan Smoking wants to know, what are your thoughts on the new Grilla Grill controller?
The new Grilla Grill controller. So they have just come out with their Wi-Fi controller. I haven't used it yet, obviously. I think that it looks to be like it's going to be a pretty cool addition. And for those of you that don't know, what we're talking about here is basically they have a Wi-Fi controller now that they're going to be putting into these the GrillaGrillz pellet grills, but it also has a mode on there like where you can pause it. So what do we mean pause? Well, what happens is whenever you open up a pellet grill right now, your temperature drops, which means you're starting to feed more pellets, because it senses the temperature drop. We need more pellets to get the temperature back up. But you got the door open doing this or that or whatever it might be. You got the door open for a couple minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, whatever it might be. You finally close the door, but this thing has fed all these pellets in there. So you can imagine you're cruising along at, say, 250, 250, 250. You open the door, temperature drops. This thing thinks that you're, needs more pellets. You close the door, you finish doing whatever you got to do, and all of a sudden this thing goes like this, and it keeps going. Oh, we've hit 250, calm down, and then it's got to come back down, and it absolutely will settle back down into your temperature, but you just spend a little bit of time dropping your temperature and then shooting past your temperature. So what they've done is they've created a pause on their controller so that you can hit pause, and for 5 minutes, it's going to just flatten out its feed rate. So it's going to keep feeding pellets at the same rate that it was feeding, whatever, before you open the door to do whatever. It's not even looking at the temperature anymore. All it cares about is controlling that feed rate. So you finish doing whatever you've been doing. The temperature absolutely has dropped because you had the door open. You finished doing what you were doing in those 2-3 minutes, whatever. You close the door. Now the next couple of minutes, it's still not looking at the temperature, but your temperature is starting to come back up because you got the door closed. Well, now when you hit that 5-minute mark, if you're just short of, or maybe you're just over, it's going to sense where that temperature is now, and you won't have this huge swing over or whatever. So that's what they've done. Sounds pretty cool, but I haven't actually had my hands on it and tried it yet.
So Kelton wants to know, hey, I'm doing ribs tomorrow in my PBC. Should I use Royal Oak Lump or B&B briquettes, or does it make a difference?
B&B.
I guess
I might be a little impartial because I am affiliated with B&B, but I do absolutely believe in their products. I've been using B&B years before I became affiliated with them. But I do find that the B&B briquettes in my pit barrel cooker works really well for me. So I would say B&B briquettes in a pit barrel cooker works well.
So Dustin wants to know, how often do you cook different meats at the same time? Say chicken in the butt, chicken first, and butt later.
Butt first and chicken later. Butt's always going to take longer than chicken. So you can absolutely cook multiple meats on one cooker, but you understand your timing of your meat. So basically, pork butt's going to cook like a brisket. It's going to take you a while to break it down, and this thing of chicken. You can have chicken done, and depending on, if you're cooking, say, a whole chicken and it's butterfly or a spatchcock, it might take you 3 hours, to cook a chicken. It might not even take that long. But I say that to say that if you were going to be cooking and say you want dinner to be ready at 6 o'clock in the evening and you got your brisket put on at 4 o'clock in the morning, you're not going to put your chicken on at 8 o'clock. You're going to wait and kind of get it on probably around 1 or 2. so it can come off and rest or whatever. So yeah, you can absolutely cook multiple different proteins at the same time, and just understand how long it takes to get those proteins done, and what kind of temperature. Because if it's going to be a totally different temperature, then you might have to use a separate cooker to do that. So
Mona is asking where you got the clams from.
those clams were from our HEB, our local HEB. Yeah, they have these big colossal clams or whatever, and they were 77 cents each.
All right.
You know, so they weren't super expensive.
Mm-mm.
So yeah.
Samantha wants to know where the jug is.
You know, the funny thing is, when I went and pulled the brisket out of the refrigerator, I sat there and saw 2 jugs sitting there looking at me. I'm like, yeah, I probably better leave that alone
Take a break from
tonight.
that.
So, but
We're done with questions.
but anyway, so guys, look, we just hit the 2-hour mark. We're gonna go ahead and bring this to a close. Again, if our winners are in here from our giveaway earlier for the answer of the Yoder YS640, guys, please remember to shoot me an email, send me your information. Send me your information so I can make sure I get those gloves, those Magna Chef gloves, sent out to you guys. Fed, you got anything you want to say to the dog pound before we get out of here?
It's been a pleasure. Always
Yeah.
love hanging out with you guys on the Saturday evening.
Absolutely, Gene.
We're good. Thanks for hanging out with us,
Yeah.
guys.
Alrighty, so
Happy
thank you
Easter,
guys for
everybody.
hanging
Happy
out with
Easter.
us. Happy Easter, guys. Please stay safe, stay sound, and whatever you do tomorrow for Easter, make sure you have fun doing it. Enjoy your families, enjoy the grills, get the briskets on, get the ribeye roasts on, all that jazz. Federico, Dawgfatha, Gene, we out. Peace.
And what's new barbecue?